RadioNOW 100.9's Indy Connection with Emily Metheny.
Hello, I'm Emily Metheny, your host. As we near the end of American Heart Month, I had the opportunity to talk about heart health from signs of a heart attack to the dangers of tobacco and vaping products. Danielle Patterson from the American Heart Association of Indiana and Erika Pedroza from the Indiana Minority Health Coalition joined me in studio to talk about the effects vaping has on youth health and what their organizations are doing to keep kids safe. Right now, it's February, and it is the American Heart Month here in the States. Can you tell us a little bit about the history of the American Heart Association, Danielle?
Sure. We were founded by 4 scientists. The goal behind the American Heart Association really is to educate, to help people live longer, to make sure that their heart is healthy. We provide CPR training because we want 8 out of 10 Americans trained in CPR. We provide education. We do a lot of research on heart disease and stroke. Diabetes as well. And we just really want people to know the signs, the symptoms of heart disease and stroke for them to live, healthier, longer lives.
And what are some of those signs?
Sure. So we really want people to understand, for instance, like stroke, the FAST, which is face drooping, numbness in your arm, speech, slurring of your speech. And if you have those 3 symptoms, then it's time to call 911. So that's FAST, F-A-S-T. For heart disease, we really want women to know the signs. They have a little different signs than men. Men tend to have that pressure on their chest, like an elephant is sitting on it, whereas women have, pain in their backs. They're a little tired. They're sweaty. That fever. So their symptoms tend to be a little different. And so we use this month to really highlight heart disease and stroke and really focus on women.
Excellent. And then, Erika, can you tell me a little bit about what the Minority Health Coalition does?
Absolutely. The Indiana Minority Health Coalition is a statewide nonprofit organization. We have over 20 local affiliate organizations throughout the state, and we exist basically to work to eliminate health disparities that exist, and we do that through education, research, advocacy, and programs. And I work on the public policy team, so really what we focus on is on the advocacy, having a presence at the State House, hosting community events, a lot of advocacy through education, and just really increasing our presence at the State House so we can have our voices heard.
Excellent. And also with the American Heart Association, there is this drive to help change some rules relating to teens and tobacco.
Exactly. For years, we have worked with a number of national partners to reduce smoking rates across the country, not only among our teens, but among our adults as well. It's harder to tell adults what to do, but we can certainly protect our children. So as you know, recently, the federal government, again, this is after years of advocating, raised the age to purchase tobacco to 21, which is wonderful. That's exactly what we wanted them to do. They removed some of the products off the shelf like Juul, but we have a long way to go. In Indiana, there are 2 bills that are focused on adopting the tobacco 21 that will raise the age. It would also address tobacco retailers for those who sell to underage people. We also have to address the distance between a tobacco retailer and a school. Right now it's 200 feet. We want to increase that to 1,000 feet. We want to change the definition of tobacco in Indiana to capture some of the newer products. Most people think of tobacco as the combustible cigarettes or cigars, but we also have all of these vaping products that are out there. So we need to change the definition to inhalers and vaporizers so that we are not only capturing what's already on the market, but we're prepared for what may come on the market as well. And the last thing we're working on is we're trying to remove the penalties that youth receive for possessing, purchasing, or using tobacco, which is unfair because tobacco companies have systematically targeted them for years, and then, we should not turn around and penalize them for being addicted to these products.
And what are some of the statistics surrounding youth using tobacco products?
Sure. In Indiana, 1 in 5 Hoosier high school students have tried tobacco, have tried cigarettes. 1 in 10 middle school students have tried cigarettes. It is estimated that 2,000 Hoosier youth become new daily smokers every day. When you look at the problem with the e-cigarettes, they've come on the market so quickly that we were not prepared for the things that we saw. So when you look at even e-cigarettes, e-cigarette use among middle school students, went from 2.8 to 5.5%. That is an increase, a significant increase very quickly. And it also doubled with high school students. We're looking at 10.5% to 18.5% of high school students. So between the years of 2017 and 2018, it doubled. It took us by storm. Combustible tobacco, which is your cigarettes, that use had went down among students. We were doing really good in eliminating tobacco use. And then all of a sudden with these vaping products, it significantly increased. And the culprit really was Juul, because, they specifically marketed their products to students.
And how does tobacco, kind of backtracking a little bit, how does that affect your heart? And why is the American Heart Association really getting involved in this?
So tobacco is the nicotine addiction, as well as, there are 66 other chemicals in tobacco. The inhaling, the constriction of your arteries in your heart, the long-term chronic use weakens the heart. And so this has been a goal of ours to reduce tobacco use, even among people with stroke. I mean, it's if you smoke, you're increasing your risk of having heart disease and stroke. And so we try to educate people that it's best to quit. Some people say, well, I could cut back. You may cut back for a minute, but you're going to go back to your old habits very soon. And so we just encourage people just to quit tobacco use altogether. And for kids with nicotine really harms an adolescent's brain. I mean, their brains are not fully developed yet. And so with nicotine, again, we're looking at youth down the line that will have a higher risk of stroke because of this nicotine usage. And what kids don't realize, in one of the Juul pods is equivalent to 20 cigarettes. So you're smoking a pack of cigarette when you vaporize one of those Juul pods.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize it was that concentrated.
It's that concentrated. Most kids feel like, well, it's not cigarettes. I don't smell like a cigarette, and this is safer. It's just water. No, it's not water. It's there are chemicals in there, benzene, lead, and also the same chemicals you find in exhaust fumes can be found in these products. And so you're inhaling those chemicals into your body. So whereas combustible cigarettes, we've seen over time people would develop, chronic disease. You hear people say, I've been smoking for 20 or 30 years. Then they'll start to have lung problems, emphysema, heart disease, cancer. But you're seeing now, after a short time, 4 or 5 years, kids are having, this EVALI, lung problems, respiratory problems, hand, foot, and mouth disease because they share the vaping devices. And so we're seeing within a shorter amount of time, kids having the same problem as adults who've been, smoking and stuff for years.
And Erika, how are we seeing this in minority populations?
Yeah, so there's definitely disparities that exist both in tobacco usage and in the penalties that are being used for the youth. So for African Americans, they see the larger disparity. So more specifically here in Indiana, historically, African Americans had a higher rate of smoking than whites. In 2017, though, that did change, and the prevalence of African American smoking was slightly lower than whites. So that's good that we're lowering that that gap there that exists. And Latinos, they tend to smoke less. Well, the smoking rates are less among non-white Latinos than both whites and blacks. So that's interesting. But why this is important to the Indiana Minority Health Coalition is that, as Danielle mentioned, smoking increases the risk of heart disease and stroke and also cancer. And those three are the three leading causes of death among blacks. And also, they are 3 of the 5 leading causes of death among Latinos. So we really try to just focus and hone in on any sort of behavior that is impacting these sorts of chronic diseases. So there are disparities that exist. Then something that we been discussing a lot lately with the Senate bill and the House bill and being in the legislative session is the youth tobacco possession and use penalties. And they are they're disproportionately impacting brown and black youth more than white youth. So that's definitely something else that we're pushing for, to see the removal of those PUP provisions in the state statute.
And right now it has left the committee. It is going to the House, correct? Is that
so? We have 2 bills. Senate Bill 1, which again will regulate tobacco use in Indiana. Senate Bill 1 will also increase the fines and penalties for tobacco retailers that sell to youth. One of the things that Senate Bill 1 did not address, and that was PUP, but we have the opportunity to address it in the House. So Senate Bill 1 passed the Senate. It is now heading towards to the House. Then we have House Bill 1006 that's authored by Representative Kirkhofer, who's from Indianapolis, Beech Grove, Cindy Kirkhofer. Her bill will actually, again, regulate tobacco products, raise the age, fine tobacco retailers, change the distance from between tobacco retailers and schools. The House Committee, Public Health Committee, did repeal the language for PUP. Unfortunately, the full House voted, the majority won, to add the language back in. So we have to work on removing that PUP language, repealing it in the Senate. So her bill is heading to the Senate, and the Senate bill is headed to the House.
excellent? And just to clarify, PUP is the penalties for underage persons.
Possession, use, and penalties for youth, yes.
Excellent. And then if someone is listening right now and they want to stop smoking, they want to stop juuling, they want to stop using tobacco, what are some resources available to them?
So they could contact the Indiana Department of Health to get more information. Their website is www.in.gov/ISDH. They could contact the American Heart Association. Our website is Quit Lying, and that's QUITLYING, because we're telling the tobacco companies and the vaping companies to quit lying to people about these products. People can contact the 1-800-QUIT line in Indiana. They could get more information and resources to quit, have access to cessation programs. There are 9 therapies available to quit smoking. Definitely talk to your doctor. There are a number of community resources. The Indiana Minority Health Coalition can help direct people to cessation programs throughout the state. It's just a matter of taking that first step towards better health. And this is what we encourage people to do. Once you take that first step, if you contact some resources, we can help you to take the next step and the further steps so that you could quit.
Erika, is there any other resources you would like to add?
Well, there's something I'd like to add. Recently, I'd say in recent years, the Indiana Minority Health Coalition has really focused on maternal mortality, like addressing these issues of maternal and infant mortality. So there is a great resource that I've seen and we've partnered with, and I've seen at a lot of the different events we've gone to. If a woman is pregnant and who's smoking, and if she'd like some assistance, there is a program called Tobacco and Me, Baby and Me Tobacco Free. So that's a great program. I'm sure you can Google that and look at that. But as Danielle mentioned, contacting us at IMHC, and we will definitely also point you in the right direction of where you can get some help.
Excellent. And if someone wants to stay up to date with the Senate bill and the House bill as they go through the session, where can they find that information?
Sure. So you could go to the American Heart Association. We have a website called You're the Cure, YOURRE, the Cure, CURE. Sign up to receive alerts, especially from Indiana, and we will keep you update on our efforts to eliminate tobacco use. There's also Tobacco Free Indiana, which is a statewide coalition. It's made up of national, state, and local partners. We work together on a number of tobacco issues. You could go to TFI website, Tobacco Free Indiana. I'm pretty sure Erika.
Well, if anyone is interested ever in Indiana to see where legislation is or what's going on at the State House, I'd say a great resource is iga.in.gov. And there you can see pretty much everything that's going on at the State House during this legislative session. It's very accessible to everyone. I know that sometimes it can seem a little scary if you're not fully aware or you feel unfamiliar with it. But you can watch committee hearings live as the bills are going through and see everything that has happened in real time. So I definitely encourage everyone to check out iga.in.gov so you can keep up to date on what's happening with these specific pieces of legislation, Senate Bill 1 and House Bill 1006.
And I was going to say the Department of Health also offers another resource for parents. It's called Vape Free Indiana because, they're really working very hard, again, with a number of partners around the state, IMHC, AHA, Cancer, Lung, to reduce the vaping epidemic among our youth.
Excellent. Is there anything else either of you would like to add?
The one thing I would like to add is that, we all have a role to play here in reducing tobacco and vaping among our youth. One of the things that we need to realize is that we do not need to penalize our youth. We need to get them into cessation programs so that they can quit. And if we work together and educate lawmakers and help them to pass the right legislation that will benefit our youth, instead of penalizing them, we really do need to put the penalties on tobacco retailers who sell to our youth and not our youth, because they've been targeted enough.
Excellent. Would you like to add anything, Erika?
I'd like to just piggyback off of what Danielle said and really encourage everyone to get involved with advocacy and pushing for decision makers to recognize that a lot of these penalties lead to inequities that just further result in other problems, worsening inequities in other areas. We have to see how all the different legislation is affecting, how it can affect the big picture. And also, I'd just like to say, the Indiana Minority Health Coalition, we do post a lot of updates on what's going on with these sorts of legislation that we're pushing for or that we're asking people to take a specific action towards. And so if you would like to join our Facebook or follow us on Facebook, I definitely encourage everyone to do so. And again, that's Indiana Minority Health Coalition.
Excellent. Thank you both for joining me today and talking about all of this.
Oh, thank you, Emily. We appreciate you having us.
Thank you for having us.
Do you have plans for that one extra day you get this year? If not, you can check out Museum by Moonlight. Lindsay Gramlich from the Children's Museum of Indianapolis stops in to tell us about the event that is coming up at the end of the week. It's for people who are 21 years or older, and it gives them the chance to enjoy the museum after hours with a variety of DJs, special programs, and treats in iconic areas like the Dinosphere.
Lindsay, can you tell us a little bit about the Children's Museum?
The Children's Museum is the world's biggest and best children's museum. We have permanent galleries, we have temporary galleries, we have an outdoor experience too that's 7.5 acres. We have about 1.3 million visitors a year as well, and so we're just always changing, always evolving, and we're really geared for all generations.
Excellent. And then coming up this weekend, which is also on Leap Day, is Museum by Moonlight. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah, Museum by Moonlight is our annual fundraiser. So this is our 5th year doing this event. It's for adults, 21 and over. So kids stay home, much to their dismay, right, when their parents are getting ready to go to the Children's Museum. But it's really a chance for adults to get to experience what kids do every day and play and explore. So all 5 floors will be open, but then we'll have some additional activities. So the silent disco in Dinosphere is very popular. It's one of my favorite things to do. Then you can ride the carousel. There'll be food from local restaurants that will be around the entire museum, so you can explore that way. New this year, we Take Me There Greece opened, and so you can take a ride on the airplane and go to Greece and experience that. And then we'll have zombie dodgeball in the indoor Riley Children's Health Sports Legend Experience. It's a simulated game. And then we actually have an astonishment artist, Matt Lavore, who our presenting sponsor, American Funds, has brought in. And we've actually done a couple interviews together, and he's blown all of our minds. So he's going to be on site doing some roaming shows, and then he'll also be doing some Lily Theater shows as well.
So what's an astonishment artist?
Well, he reads, I think it's mind stuff. And then it's hypnotism and just kind of mind tricks. He really does astonish everybody, is what he does.
That's awesome. And so he'll have his own spot during Museum by Moonlight. Is that part ticketed?
It's included in your ticket to the event.
And then speaking of tickets, there's 2 different levels of tickets. How does that work?
Okay, so the general admission ticket is $85. And again, all proceeds go to the Children's Museum Fund. So this is one of our biggest fundraisers. And then there's an MVP ticket that's $150. And you get a couple extra drinks with that. You get early entry. And then you get a couple extra benefits. So you can kind of get first priority to Matt's shows, to the comedy sports show. So it's an enhanced ticket.
Excellent. And where can people buy these tickets?
On our website, childrensmuseum.org/moonlight.
Also looking at what's going to be there, we also have some local DJs, including some of our sister stations. So not only Radio Now, we have Hot 96.3, WTLC FM, La Grande are all going to be around, right?
Oh, yeah. And the radio stations really make our event because you have different music and all the galleries, and you can just float around and have a good time.
Excellent. And if you check those out, you'll be able to find different things at the different booths. And since all floors are going to be open, the actual outside of the Riley Sports Experience, that will not be open, correct?
No, it won't. It's not open for the season. It opens for the 3rd year on March 14th. So it is unfortunately closed, but the indoor portion will be open, and that's really extraordinary as well.
And then is the Colts exhibit still there?
Yes. Yep, First and Goal is still there, and it's a really great interactive experience, and that's where the zombie dodgeball will be.
Excellent, yep. Excellent. And is there a dress code for the event?
There is not, which is one of the cool things about this event is if you are coming with your girlfriends, you can dress up for girls' night out, or if you're going on a date, or if you just want to come in your jeans and a t-shirt. We just ask that you're appropriate. It is the Children's Museum, so.
Excellent. And then one of the other really cool experiences you have is the Science of Alcohol session with Sun King and Hotel Tango.
Yeah. So this is one of our fan favorite experiences too. We try to bring a little bit of science, adult science in, and people get to just talk to Sun King, get to talk to Hotel Tango, and have a really cool science experiment.
Excellent. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I just want to emphasize the fact that this is a fundraiser, that all proceeds make sure that all children and families can visit the museum throughout the year. So it's really important for us to give that back to the kids.
And if you want to find tickets, you can go online to the website, which is childrensmuseum.org/Moonlight, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And this will be coming up this weekend, actually. It's on Leap Day, so come spend it at the Children's Museum.
Absolutely.
If you want to reach out, or if you have topics you'd like me to cover, you can reach me at emetheny, that's EMETHENY, at radio-1.com. Thank you for listening, and please join me again next week. Until then, have a great week.
Radio Now 100.9's Indy Connection with Emily Metheny.